Most personal injury law firms think that the problem is marketing. They need more leads, more marketing, more ads. But if your intake system can only handle 20 leads, what makes you think you can handle 200? Because if you get 200 leads, you already paid for those 200 leads. But if you're only converting 20 or 30% of them, then what happens to the 80 or 70% of the other leads that you wasted? Simply because your intake system cannot handle the 200 leads that you paid for, right? So the problem isn't really marketing per se. The problem is that your intake system is having leaks. The more leaks that come into your intake funnel, right, the more you're gonna leak out if you don't patch those leads up, right? And when I say patch those leads up, I mean, how fast are you calling every single lead that comes in? Because as we both know, the longer it takes you to answer every single call, the less likely you are to convert them into paying clients, right? And two, are you following up consistently enough? Because let's be honest, not every lead is going to answer the first call, right? So how often or how consistently are you trying to reach them back? Because again, they submitted their information to you. You already paid for that lead. So how are you converting, or how are you trying to get that lead to convert onto your system, right? That's where the main problem is. It's not marketing, it's a leaky funnel. So here's another law from audit, right? Let's imagine a boutique firm in Denver that just expanded to digital ads. They have great lawyers, solid branding, but no structured intake system in place yet. So let's say, for example, this boutique firm gets about 16,000 website visitors with about 45% bounce rate, meaning they get about 8,800 engaged visitors, right, in their website. And let's say this website converts about 3%. So that means out of 8,800, they get about 264 leads coming in every single month, right? But let's say after this firm adapted digital ads, they also added AI on top of those digital ads, right, or underneath in the sense, to help boost even more, right? So they already get 3% from their website, and then the AI helps them get another 3% boost of leads. So that's an extra 264 leads every single month. And let's say this boutique firm has a closing rate of 10%, meaning they're turning leads into paying clients. So that's another 26 new clients every single month, right? And let's say this firm's average case value is about 41,230, right? So the estimated monthly revenue recovered is about $1,072,000. With an extra 3% boost from the AI system that they implemented, they're able to recover $1,072,000. So the AI system is helping them call leads fast enough and follow up with new leads consistently enough. They already paid for the lead, right? You're not adding an additional marketing campaign or something like that. You're essentially trying to convert more of the leads that you already paid for. A voicemail is a clear proof that somebody tried to give you money, but you weren't ready, right? Because when they get to the voicemail, guess what they're going to do? They're going to go back to Google, call the next firm, and if they don't answer, go back to Google, call the next firm. But this firm answered, and it's your competitor down the street. So that's why it's really important to understand your intake funnel, plug the leaks, and then leverage an AI system or an AI infrastructure to help you, one, control everything, and two, have leverage. Because us humans, we need to take rest days. We need to go back home, take a sleep, whatever. But the AI system will work specifically for your law firm only, instead of you relying to a third-party call center to handle your after-hours calls, knowing exactly that they're also doing the same thing for your competitors down the street. So here's another law from audit, right? Picture a 12-person PI firm in Southern California. Strong reviews, great office culture, but manual intake logging and no automations, right? So let's say this firm gets about 30,000 website visitors with about an average 50% bounce rate. So that means 15,000 are engaged website visitors. And let's say this website is converting about 4%. So that means they're getting about 600 leads every single month. And let's say this firm now understands the benefit of adding an AI layer on top of what they're currently doing, and the AI system gives them an extra boost of 3% conversion rate from their website. So that's an extra 450 new leads every single month. with an average of 10% close rate, let's say, they're closing 45 new cases every single month, right? And let's say this firm's case value is about $28,720. That's an estimated monthly recovered revenue of $1,295,000 in a single month, simply because the AI system that they implemented helped them get an extra 3% boost, right? An extra 3% boost might seem a little, but that's $1.2 million for this firm. Think about that. Simply because, again, the AI system is calling leads as soon as they come in or following up consistently enough. The problem is not marketing. The problem is that your intake system has leaks on it, right? You already paid for the leads. So why not try to convert more of the leads that you already paid for instead of spending more money trying to get more clients that you're going to lose the lead in your intake funnel because it has leaks? If somebody is in pain and they call you but you don't answer, you are invisible. That's the cost of not being able to answer the calls or even call the leads as soon as they come in, right? Because again, when people are in pain, they need your attention as soon as possible. Whether it's midnight, whether it's midday, whether it's the 4th of July, whether it's whatever, right? Whether it's snowing, sunny outside, if they call you, they are looking to give you money, right? Because they need your help. You're changing their lives. But if you don't answer the call as soon as possible or call them as soon as they give you their information, then again, they're just going to go back to Google and call the next firm. And guess what? Your competitor down the street is going to answer the call before you do. So when you try to call them back, they're going to be like, oh, I already hired a firm that's doing this case for me. Thank you. Bye. Boom. Hang up on you. Like, I want you to understand the problem is not marketing. The problem is not getting leads. You already established a system that's been working ever since you started your law firm. Obviously, if your law firm is underneath 1 year old, then obviously, yeah, you need to run marketing. But I'm talking to established personal injury law firm owners right now, right? You've already made the money, right? Now you just have to recover the lost revenue that you're losing simply because you're not answering your calls fast enough, you're not calling leads fast enough, or you're not following up with leads consistently enough. So, law firm owners, I'm going to be real with you. The problem is not your ads. The problem is your leaky intake funnel, right? You already paid for the leads that you already got. The problem is you're not converting more of those leads that you already paid for, right? Obviously, if your law firm is new, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to established personal injury law firm owners, right? You don't need more ads, right? Obviously, to an extent you do, but the main thing is I need you to look at your intake funnel, identify where you're leaking leads, and the main one is you're not answering your phone calls fast enough. 2, you're not following up consistently. Or 3, you're leveraging a third party call center or another service to answer the phone calls for you. And yes, that works. I'm not saying it doesn't work, but guess what? Your competitor down the street is using the same service to answer their phone calls after hours. So again, you're back at square one. You both don't have a competitive advantage. But guess what? The third party call center is benefiting from both of your services or both your subscriptions, because if you end that relationship with them, guess what? Nobody's there to answer your phone calls. But if you leverage an AI system that you own and control and it only works on you or your business, that's a crazy amount of competitive advantage, because again, your competitor is not using the same AI system you're using. You are blaming your staff, but it's the pipes that are leaking, right? The staff members are not the problem. Obviously, if you don't have an ATI team, then sort that out. But you get what I'm saying. The people are not the problem. It's the infrastructure, right? Because if the intake funnel is leaking, then that's where the main problem is, because the people cannot work on the leads that are not there. right? So that's why I advise you to kind of add an AI layer before the staff, because the AI system is able to, one, call leads faster, follow up with new leads as soon as possible or consistently enough, and three, handle your calls after hours for you. That's why the AI system is there to help you recover, because the problem is not marketing or your staff. The problem is a leaky funnel. You already paid for 200 leads, but you're converting 20% of them, right? 80% of leads gone simply because you don't answer the call fast enough, you don't call the leads fast enough, or you don't follow up consistently enough, right? Think about that. The problem is not the staff. The problem is the infrastructure itself. You're leaking leads.